Do you have any sort of practices or physical anchors in which you kind of aim to get out of your ego? Like, do you have any type of meditation practice, or is this sort of Eckhart Tolle kind of presence, it's more just a conceptual idea which you consciously aim for to be present and as much as you can?
Yeah, I think it's like with him, it's an idea, and it's something that I can always refer back to know that he is kind of like a master in this. So I can always refer back to his stuff and hear it and know that there's things to pull from it, to learn from it, even if I've heard something or a talk or something he's done before. I can always go back to it and see it with a new perspective, depending on like where I'm at, The further you go on with your reality, the more perception you have from something that was the same. But I'm sorry, I got lost.
No, it's okay. It's kind of a confusing topic to talk about. It's really hard because the true nature of it transcends words.
Yeah.
So using words, and that's one of the beautiful things about what he said is like, one, grouping our words and language and thinking in with ego and realizing like using the ego to try to talk about this transcendent thing. I mean, it's almost like as elusive as trying to talk about a concept like God. It's just to put him into words defeats the purpose of the idea to some degree.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We can really only scratch the surface of this concept with our words.
Definitely. You were asking about grounding and meditation.
Yeah.
Grounding and meditation. For meditation, I think when I do set aside time to do meditation, I do like guided meditations for flow state. And then just regular meditations for breathing, for anxiety. But something that's like grounding to me. Do you have a grounding object? What do you ground with?
I have a meditation practice.
Okay,
I've been practicing transcendental meditation since 2017. And then I've learned a lot about various forms of mindfulness meditation.
Yeah.
And so I see my transcendental meditation as a very specific practice, which requires sitting and using a mantra and even a specific way of doing that sitting and mantra. It's a carefully constructed and not really negotiable, customizable practice. It's like an ancient Vedic practice. So it's like I don't really mess around with those rules and try to personalize that practice to me. It's just twice a day, 20 minutes at a time. That's the practice.
Yeah.
But
you're really in it. You doing it?
Yeah. But mindfulness I find to be much more free form, and I use that as supplemental meditation. And I find what Eckhart Tolle is saying to align a lot more with mindfulness ideas. And so I see that as I use that more as like an off the cushion practice, as they say, where it's just thinking about that concept of consciousness. It's just thinking about becoming present, focusing on your breath. And sometimes I might be like, if I'm in a more noisy environment or unsure of how much time I really have, or I could potentially be disrupted in my meditation. Maybe if I'm outside and not a very controlled, quiet environment, I might do a mindfulness meditation where it's just I'm going to focus on my breath for as long as I feel like it.
Yeah.
Maybe even just focus on the sensations and sounds around me. Might even do it with my eyes open. And sometimes, especially when you're listening to someone talk, it's really cool to catch yourself if you become distracted and you're in your own head, but then you realize I'm not paying attention. It's like focus on the words that they're saying, and then use like your breath as this secondary thing that's like anchoring you in presence. So I'm
guided meditation.
Yeah. And I've also read this book called Breath by James Nestor, which also just got me fascinated with breathing on its own outside of the context of meditation. And I made a conscious effort to slow my breathing down to like 6-second inhales, 6-second exhales, because that does amazing things physiologically, but particularly when you're feeling stressed. I've found that to be so effective. I mean, meditation in general has been very effective with dealing with anxiety and depression for me and getting through really difficult periods of my life. There's times I don't think I would have made it through if I didn't have the practice. And I don't know what I mean by not making it through. I don't know.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, it could mean that, but it could also just mean like I wouldn't be here like this. Like I might have like snapped, and I might be in like a mental institution. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm always hanging on by the thinnest thread there, but I'm good, y'all. I'll be all right. But I think.